y'all. Thank you for having me. I am the third one up, so we're going to start out with a video. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I get really excited when I see that video. And not just because I work at Atlanta Tech Village, but because that video represents the opportunities and possibilities that we all have to build a company right here in Atlanta. My name is Karen Houghton, and I'm the Vice President of Atlanta Tech Village, which, as you just saw, is the 4th largest tech hub in America. I'm also one of the 8% of women who are in venture capital, serving as a venture partner with Atlanta Ventures. Both of these organizations work hand in hand to support and inspire entrepreneurs who are on their quest to change the world through technology. We believe, in fact, we know that Atlanta is one of the best places to grow and build a startup. Hey, there you go. Thank you. I'm glad you're on the front row. All right. Now, I've not always been in technology. So my career path, it looks a little bit more like a jungle gym. That analogy actually came from Sheryl Sandberg, who's the COO of a little thing called Facebook. But what that means is that I've not just gone rung by rung up a ladder. I've gone left and right and up and down, which some of y'all may be able to relate to. You see, in 2006, I graduated with a master's degree in marriage and family therapy. I had a whole lot of debt and the sudden realization that I could not actively listen to people for 40 hours a week. It was very unfortunate timing, I know. From there, I decided to go into industrial psychology, and luckily someone hired me as a business consultant, and it was a much better fit. And from there, that business consulting firm ended up funding the start of a coffee company called Land of a Thousand Hills. And it was through my work at Land of a Thousand Hills that I discovered I really love to build companies. And I also really loved coffee. By 2009, I was spending large chunks of time in Rwanda. And as I was working in these coffee farming communities, I realized we could do more. I thought that I could do more. So I started a nonprofit called the Do Good Initiative. And over the years, we completed several projects that I was really proud of. But one of the most impactful was that we completed a primary school that worked hand in hand with the local government that continues today to educate over 400 people, 400 students every year. And then 2012 came, and one of my largest donors introduced me to a tech entrepreneur named David Cummings. And from there, my career path was forever changed because I decided to leave the nonprofit world and enter the crazy, fulfilling, and exciting world of technology. It's a crazy leap, and often people ask me how I did that. But you see, I have a superpower, and so do each of you. And if you don't know it, I encourage you to try to figure it out. But what I knew is that my superpower of building communities that support and inspire other people did not just have to apply to the nonprofit world. In fact, I could apply that to the tech world, and I found that I could do good in technology. So what do you think of when you hear this word technology? For some, it can be a really cold word. Maybe it's a little intimidating. Some of you guys may think of your good friends Alexa or Siri. Maybe you think of Bitcoin or self-driving cars or robots, or maybe even life-giving medical devices. Or maybe you think of a little place called Silicon Valley. For those of you who don't know, Silicon Valley is the mecca for all things tech. It's in the San Francisco Bay Area in Northern California, and it literally serves as just a global epicenter for technology. It also happens to be a really good show on HBO, so you should check it out, but I digress. These companies, Facebook, Google, YouTube, and Amazon, all call Silicon Valley home. These are some of the world's most influential and powerful brands on the entire planet. And I dare to say that they probably interact and influence each of you on almost a daily basis. So here's a crazy stat for you. The World Wide Web was invented in 1990. So 1990, we got the internet. That means that in 30 short years, the world has gone from zero internet to 4.5 billion people using it in 30 years. That's incredible scale, and that's an incredible sphere of influence. Not only have we seen that, we've also seen the global population double in the last 50 years. And these two stats together show us that we are currently living in a sweeping era of change. And it's a change that I don't think we fully realize the impact quite yet. Long gone is the industrial revolution. Today, you and I, we are living in the digital revolution, and its impact is incredible. And it's not all good. We all know this, right? We're experiencing hackers and privacy issues, fake news, comparison traps on social media, and yes, a decided lack of diversity in the builders and creators of our technology. But it's not all bad. There's also good news. Technology is driving the global economy. It's creating wealth, it's creating jobs, it's creating more connectivity and increasing community. And what all those tell us is that entrepreneurship remains to be the single greatest mechanism for changing the world. And I think that technology is a huge part of that. I believe technology is the future, and I believe it's good. And I'm here to tell you that it's not just happening in Silicon Valley. In fact, it's happening right here in Atlanta. And in this city of hospitality, we're giving it our own spin. We have a vibrant and growing tech ecosystem, and it is one that is supportive and kind and encouraging. And in case you didn't know it, Atlanta has just about any resource that you could possibly imagine to help you grow and start a company. And the good news is we don't want to be Silicon Valley, right? There's already one of those, and it's not that great. We want to be Atlanta, we want to be different, and we want to be better. And I think that one of the reasons Atlanta's ecosystem is so special and such a differentiator is because of the people behind it. So I want to take a brief moment and introduce you to 3 of the people behind some of the software that is coming out of our city right now. Sound good? You with me? Yeah? All right. First one's David Cummings. Serial entrepreneur. Yes, he's my boss, and yes, he is a year younger than myself. He taught himself how to code in the 8th grade, and when he was 19 and still a student at Duke University, he started his first company, which is still successful today. That is not what I was doing when I was 19, but that is a story for another day. David Cummings built a marketing automation company called Pardot. Now, Pardot was acquired by ExactTarget, which has now been acquired by Salesforce for $100 million. It is one of the largest bootstrapped SaaS acquisitions on record, which is a whole lot of buzzwords to simply say that he tried to get funding and he couldn't. But in the end, that greatly benefited him, and it greatly benefited you and me, because he turned around and purchased the building that would become Atlanta Tech Village. The sole reason for Atlanta Tech Village was to give entrepreneurs a place to go, a place to have community, to collaborate and build together. And today those core values still stand: to be nice, to dream big, and to pay it forward. This is my friend Tope Iwatana. He is the CEO and founder of Calendly. If you're not familiar with Calendly, it's a simple, beautiful scheduling app that I highly recommend you use. And it also now accepts payments to help entrepreneurs who are starting small businesses. Now, Tope was not born in America. Tope was born in Nigeria. And when he was 12 years old, he watched his father die right in front of him from a violent carjacking. When he was 16, his mother moved him and his siblings, and they immigrated here to Atlanta. Tope knew at a very young age that he wanted to be an entrepreneur and that he wanted to follow in his father's footsteps. So when I first met Tope, he was coming to one of our Friday lunches at Atlanta Tech Village, which everyone's invited. It's a lot of fun. And his company size was one person. Today, Tope employs over 300 people just a few years later. He has $30 million in annual recurring revenue, and his company is growing 100% year over year. Tope's story is truly the American dream. And the wealth and opportunity that he's creating for himself and his team members and his family is going to impact generations to come. Finally, I want you to meet my friend Ifra. Ifra is the CEO and founder of USIT. USIT is an app, and in this app, she connects fully vetted college students with parents who need last-minute or recurring child care, right? We've all had a babysitter cancel on us last minute. If you're a parent and they ruin everything, USIT takes care of that. Now, Ifra was a senior at Emory University when she had this idea. Her parents were doctors, her siblings were attorneys, and here she was saying, hey, I got this degree and I think I'm going to go not make money and build this app because she really believed in this need and connecting parents with these college students who needed jobs in the gig economy. Today, Ifra is booking over 500 gigs a month through her app, and she's expecting close to $500,000 in revenue just this year. I want to tell you these stories. So number one, you can see the faces and the heart behind some of the people coming out of the software here in Atlanta, because we are on a rising tide of innovation here in our city. And it's an exciting time. And what they all have in common, which may be like you, is that they have grit and determination. And by pursuing their ideas and pursuing their dreams and climbing the mountains and valleys that it takes to become an entrepreneur, they were able to create software that is literally in the hands of millions of consumers around the globe. Atlanta's on the rise, and here's some stats that I want to show you real quick. First is that Atlanta is the #1 U.S. city for startups that's not New York and San Francisco. We are the 4th fastest growing tech market, and our city has created 32,000 high-paying tech jobs in just the last 5 years. We also have $3 billion companies, and in the tech world, we call them unicorns because they're mythical. But they're not mythical in Atlanta because we have Rubicon, Cabbage, and MailChimp, and they all started out as one person with a big idea. And finally, this may be my favorite, but we're the #4 city for female-owned businesses. So ladies, there is a place for you here. You guys, we are literally crafting our future every day. We are making leaps and bounds in technology, and it's moving so rapidly. Think about how far we've come in 30 years, right? That was in 1990, the World Wide Web. Now think about how far we can potentially go in the next 30. It can be scary, but today, my goal is for you to be inspired. I want you to be inspired to be a part of this because this is something that you can all be a part of, and we need people like you. Technology is a platform where everyone should have a voice. And it's one that I believe everyone can have a voice, and it's a place where we need the good to outweigh the bad. Because remember, entrepreneurship is the single greatest mechanism for changing the world. So please do not sit on the sidelines and think maybe technology is not for you or entrepreneurship is not for you, because it is. If you have that idea and you have the grit and determination, then I challenge you to go for it. I believe tech is the future, and the future is good with the right people in it. So please be one of those people and join us. Thank you.